Okay, today we're going to show you how to graph. So you get a couple options. You can use the sketchpad and just go to graph. The other one is to go to a new document. So it doesn't matter which one you pick. If you go to a new document, your options are going to be the second one, add graph. So either go to the sketchpad or you can go to add graph. Once you have a graph, we need to enter in an equation. So this f1 of x, this is another name of f of x. It's also known as y. So this is saying like y equals. And then we're going to enter all our equation over here. Keep in mind that the white buttons down here at the bottom of your calculator are what ones that you use the most often. So particularly x is a very helpful one. So we're going to type in x squared first. So we type in x, and then there's a square button right over here on the left-hand side. And if you need anything besides a square, you're going to use the caret to get to it. But we just want x squared. And let's say we're going to add 3x. And how about minus 5 today? So this is the equation y equals x squared plus 3x minus 5. And we want to go ahead and graph that. So we're going to hit enter. And there it's graphed for us. Now you need to make sure that you know how to zoom. So we're going to hit menu. And then if you go to number 4, window zoom, this is all your zoom options. They got zoom in, zoom out. Zoom standard will just take you back to the standard screen. And if you only want quadrant 1, there's some zoom. And there's some other things in here. Zoom fit will fit the parabola, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's kind of like a computer's best guess at what you want. Because we're almost there right now, we want to zoom out. So we're going to click zoom out number 4. Now, what's important is we need to look for 3 points. We're looking for the 2 points across the x-axis, so we can see them now. And we also need either the very top or the very bottom. The very top is called a maximum, and the very bottom is called a minimum. And right now we can't see the very bottom, and it's important that we see it. So we're going to zoom. It's asking right now where the center is, and this is the center of where we're zooming from. So I'm going to zoom from right about, here or so. And if you notice, I still have this white hourglass with the minus sign on. I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to go to menu, action. So I'm just going to click the pointer again, just so I can point at things. Okay, so here's our equation. Y equals x squared plus 3x minus 5. I can move the equation around if I want to. If you click on the equation, it comes back up here. You can edit it. But you can put it wherever it is out of your way. Now, I need to find the zeros. So in order to graph, there's 3 important points we need. The 2 zeros, which are right here and right here. And we need either the maximum or the minimum. In this case, I have a minimum. So if you go to menu, you want to go to Analyze Graph number 6. And we want to find the zeros, which is number 1. And now it's going, where's the bounds? So we're going to put either left or right of either the 0. And then we're going to drag across, and it's going to end up giving us this shaded area. And it's important that the 0 is somewhere in between your shaded inside the shaded area. And I just went ahead and hit enter to click it. And it says that our 0, and you can remove this if you need to, is at negative 4.19 comma 0. So this would be x equals negative 4.19. Now I want the other 0, so we got to do this again. We go to menu, analyze graph, number 1 is 0. And this time we want to make sure we're just going through this 0. So make sure you're not doing both zeros at once, otherwise it'll give you the same 0 again. So maybe start about here, move it over. And this is the particular 0 I'm looking for, and this one is at positive 1.19 comma 0. So I now have my 2 zeros. The other important point I need is called the vertex, or also known as a minimum or a maximum. In this case I want a minimum, so I'm going to go to menu, analyze graph number 6. And we said it's a very bottom, so it's a minimum, so I'm going to click on minimum. Now what the calculator does is find the absolute smallest area in the shaded area. So I want to make sure that I'm shading where this bottom is, and you don't have to be close, but I'm going to go somewhere from like there to there to make sure I have a very bottom, and here's the very bottom. So there's the important points. Negative 4.19 and 1.19 are our zeros, and we have a vertex that happens to be a minimum at negative 1.5 comma negative 7.25. So if you need to sketch the graph, that would be the 3 important points you need to do, and you fill in with this nice beautiful U-type shape. If you have any questions on how to graph, please make sure you ask in class and practice, because this is one of the important things you need to be able to do to be a level 2.